we at this point now where we have to say, well, if it's not godly, it's not good, it's not positive or progressive, then it don't matter. Because a nigga can be good at negativity. You can be good at degradation. But when it comes to, and this is where a lot of the entertainment community is not good at right now, they're not good at things that are positive or progressive. They don't know how to make that switch because you tapped in, and the metrics on how you measure yourself is always on how you're going to tap into some negative energy and how you're going to cultivate that for attention, right? And money and capitalization. So when you don't even have the ability to tap into good and use that to create light, to create success, right? Then you also feel threatened by those who do, because you know that what they're doing is better for the people than you. It's like a person that can cook food that is good for you versus a chef that can only cook pork or beef. You understand me? Or junk food. Well, this chef, he cooks it just as good as you, but it's actually good for me. The other chef, they cook great too, taste-wise, but it's not good for me. So you can't compare these two chefs. These are non-comparable, because just by making something that is good for you is already better than a person that can make something that tastes better. So if you can also make something that tastes good, that is of good quality and good taste, and the substance of it is good as well, then you actually are tenfold higher. This is what you have done. This is where the culture has to change its grading system of success. This is the ascension where we look at things completely different. So you can't judge a person who taps into negative energy of the world and be like, well, his did more numbers, or they sold more albums, or their restaurant is better, or their channel was more popping. Yes, of course it's going to be. I make this statement a lot. Ass, a person really showing their ass, right, or their breast is more value than a person giving you genius thoughts, intellectual property, right? Visionaries, more important than inventions and innovation. I know this for a fact because I know brothers who do those things and sisters who do those things, but they aren't as valued as somebody who can simply come on camera and seduce you. So the metrics is not the same for success. So what we're looking at, most of our culture, what we look at successful, is we're looking at people who learn how to cultivate negativity or cultivate these dark energies. And because the world is built on that, they're able to add to the collective negativity in the world, the collective darkness in the world, that collective low energy in the world, and they're able to find their place. So brothers like myself, we have to do 100 times more work to get it done. So I don't compare myself, because it's like, come on, man, to be a guide in the devil's world and be successful requires another level of thinking that you couldn't even comprehend. Come on, man, you telling me that this is not aligned with corporate messaging? This is not aligned with media? This is not aligned with a mainstream thought? This is not aligned with mainstream political views? This is not aligned with none of that. Yet we still find a way. How much thinking, how much strategy, how much research, how much alchemy, how much transcendence does it take to create success as a god in the devil's world? Think about that. You understand me? Because that person could be, success should not be measured by he able to make money because the devil go pay you for demeaning your people. No, it should be successful. And that I get to maintain my health, my happiness, my freedom, my ability to think straight, be clear, right? Way more successful. So when a lot of you all may not know how successful you are at reality, because you may be grading how much you can be rewarded by the devil. You understand me? You grading your success based on how you can be awarded and rewarded by the devil. No, listen, just the fact you got your mind and you're focused on the right path and you're working to strive to go against societal norms, that gives you a different level of success, because the devil will give you 10 times more in his world. You understand me? Because the currency of negativity is worth more than currency of positivity in his world. Now, in the internal one, the currency of doing positivity far outweighs negativity. So the internal world is different than the external. In the internal world, when you do good, you get rewarded. That's why a person that does negativity, they try to balance it out with charity, right? They try to balance it out with doing good. They try to balance it out with getting their mind back right, because they're trying to get their internal world together, because they feel like they bankrupt. On the outside, they can buy anything they want. On the inside, they is empty. They empty. So you have to focus on where you want your success to be. How many people have had to try to create, it bothers a man, as they say, to gain the world, but to lose yourself. So I don't want you all to think you're not successful. No, you're way stronger and you're way powerful. It's just that you have a moral compass that doesn't allow you to get rewarded by the devil. That's just the facts. You doing good while somebody else is doing negativity, and you making comparisons. Y'all not comparable, B. You already of a higher regard. You already of a higher light. You already of a higher ascension, because you've made a decision to not go the easy path and the easy route. That's like comparing somebody that goes into the gym and every day they picking up 10-pound weights. Man, they got them 10-pound weights and they able to do 100 reps and 100 sets. And you go in there and you pick up the 100-pound. You understand me? But yet you can only do 5 reps. You understand me? Maybe 5 sets. It's not comparable. It's not the same. Because the weight that you have is heavier. So it requires you to have more strength. You understand me? No, the devil these niggas out here, they getting rewarded for doing no work. They getting rewarded for doing his work. So these things, shout out to MG the Mortgage guy on the check-in, man. These things are way more important, and this is where I want you all to quantify your level of success and your measure of value in different ways. You can't quantify it based on the way of the world. You have to quantify it based on the way of God. You dig? So I go and I say, okay, what does the work that I do mean in God to God? You understand me? That's different. What does the work I do mean to God? You mean as a black man, I wake up every day and I teach other people? You mean I take care of my family? Right? You mean that I've turned my life around from criminality and doing negativity to only pushing something that's good and progressive? You mean that I spend all of my brain power thinking of ways that I can progress and further my people and the people of the world and create things and organizations that's geared towards that? That got to be worth a lot. And that's why I feel so light. Because all of my money is connected to my purpose. So this is different. No, wait a minute. What's your channel about? You get millions of views. Well, my millions of views are about intellectual stimulation, taking people to a higher level. Wait a minute. Somebody else got 100 million views, but theirs is about all the drill rap and killing and murdering that happens in our community, and they capitalizing on Black death. Or something else, escapism and things that don't matter. You know how much harder it is to get our people to watch and get millions of views on topics that are positive, that are relevant, that are enlightening. It's different. It's not the same. So I don't measure my success by nobody else, because, listen, as much as it'll make sense for people to reach out and be like, Keys, yo, you getting 1 million views. Can I pay to become a sponsor on that? No. When a person get 1 million views for negativity, we have an automatic track that we even reward people for more devilish things. Damn, bro got 1 million, but I'll never reach out to him to ask if I can help fund the show. But bro and them got 1 million, man, I paid them 25,000, I paid them 30,000, I paid them 50,000. I want to advertise on this. Why? Because we haven't learned to value godliness. We ain't learned to value, you understand me, good yet. And we don't realize it, that we have the same system. So when I say the devil rewards you, I'm talking about how we reward people. We reward people with our attention. We reward people with our money. We reward people with our support. We don't even realize that we are the devils in the way that we reward people for doing devilish things. Because that's the way that the world has been set up. We didn't even realize it. right? So when somebody do something negative and everybody watches it, we like, oh shit, I'm rewarding them with my attention. So we are supporting them at the same time, whether you think it or not. But then somebody does something good and you give it no attention. Well, who's been rewarded? You understand me? You got to understand the dynamics of reality. So when I talk about, I'm like, yo, the economic community, it's not the financial. This is the economics we talk. Economics is warfare. Our brothers, you got MG Mortgage guys, CEO Matty J, they teach people how to build businesses, how to develop their gifts, right? They're not, but there's no award show in the community for that. I see him 500 was talking about it. You know, y'all, I've been talking about it, but it's the person who does it that matters, right? You know, and I believe that him 500 don't be like talking too much. He be doing shit. So I would love to see that brought out. And I got some other things that I want to do for, because you have to create culture around it. You actually have to reward people for doing good so that it grows the culture, so that it shifts the paradigm, so people want to do more rewarding things. You dig? Now, it's one thing to get internal validation from self. It's another thing for a brother to be like, man, how the fuck am I out here doing this? But these niggas getting rewarded. How these niggas on the show and these niggas don't do nothing but negativity, and every day I wake up trying to motherfucking forge out of fire. You understand me? Some path in some way. I get it. I get the struggle because I've been there, right? And a lot of people don't understand that. They can't get it. They can't wrap their mind around it, because you got to realize that the people that are used to this cycle, they go give all of the money, all the rewards, everything to nigga shit. And they say, well, I got to now because it's now, that's my business now. I don't know how to reward y'all for doing godliness. So what y'all seeing in real time with like Earn Your Leisure and MG and CEO Matty J, different people starting to get some measurement of awards and rewards, this is a shift starting to happen, but not there. It's not there. It's starting to happen, but it's not there. So he said, man, I seen y'all on the Breakfast Club. That's not even the machine doing that. That was me and my brothers at Earn Your Leisure partnership that made that reality possible. The machine didn't pick that up, so it has to be intentionality by how we connect the dots to change the machine. Because the machine don't progress on its own, because the machine is well working and oiled. But now what you got to understand is things are changing in this land. I go to the talent agent and I'm talking to them and they like, well, listen, man, rappers ain't selling out shows the same way. They said the rock stars ain't selling out shows the same way. They said, well, y'all got the power. Y'all got the community. We want to get behind people like y'all because y'all can fill up the theaters. Y'all can fill up the stadiums. You understand me? The shift is in. He said, y'all got the community. Y'all got the ear to the people. I say, you know what? This is dope, because I say, you know, the difference between what we got and what they got. I say, see, a rapper, they do one city, and you got to change the whole rules around this shit when you're talking about it. The rules have changed, y'all. The rules are not the same, and this was why I like the game and where it's going. I said, listen, see, a rapper, if they do a show in one city, they're going to tell you, well, now you can't oversaturate that market, because who's going to come back and hear a rapper or a singer or artist do the same show? It's the same thing with a comedian. You heard the jokes. I can't laugh the same because I already heard it. I need some time, but you got to come back with new material. This is what I need y'all to understand, is that when you are a thought leader like myself and my brothers, if I do one show one day, the next show going to be completely different. Because this is not, I'm never operating off the same material. I can go to every city and every time. Same way every time I do a live is different. Every time we do a high level is different. I got unlimited material. What does that mean? That means that the value is way higher. Because what you got is one person selling one product, but a person can only buy that product once. No, every time we come, the product changes. So every time you come, you get a different experience. So you can't be like, well, I went Saturday, I ain't going Sunday. No, you got to go both days to get the value of both days. So they like, I get that. The business model is different. The business model is different. Now you got to change the business. But a lot of times we be operating in models right, of the old, and they trying to fit and see how we fit inside. It's like, no, you have to change the whole business model and thinking around me. I'm a different type of commodity. I'm a different type of value. It's different, like LaRussell will say. That's why LaRussell can sell albums before they come out and make more than some of the top artists in the world, because instead of selling 1 million records, you should be focused on making $1 million, which changes your business model. Come on, man. Can I get an amen? Oh, man. It's much easier to make $1 million than sell 1 million records. But everybody wants to be in the industry where you got to sell 1 million products to get, come on, that don't make sense. Why? Because we have new business models. 2022. You want me to operate like niggas in the 90s did, the 2000s did, 2005, 2010, 2015, even 2020. Things have changed, my brother. I'm not operating like that. Wait a minute. Come on now. When I learned game, man, and this how I be thinking, it's like I learned the game that they sell merch packs with streams so that they can fluff their numbers to the top. You telling me we can't do that same thing to sell a book or a shirt with that, connect that to a message, and then you telling me we can't be on the top 100 if we getting the same kind of numbers? But see, we have to do these to break barriers so they understand, bro, this is the new value. Because the average rapper makes $70,000 a year. Average, according to statistics. And most of them make less than that. But we got kids wanting to go for a job that don't even pay 6 figures. So when you say you want to be a rapper and an artist, you're looking at the top 10 and saying, I want to be like them, but the average is getting paid less than 6 figures. How does that make sense? Yet their industry is seen more valuable than ours. How the fuck that makes sense? Investors and entrepreneurs getting paid more than that. And on their own terms, and ain't losing their mind, they got to do a bunch of drugs to maintain. Come on, man. I'm just trying to give you the game on where we at in society. Just that we on an ascension. If that's not a 7-figure job, no. How many rappers the same way? How many athletes? Every athlete ain't getting no LeBron-sized contract. So sometimes you think you're going for the top 10, but actually you're going to end up in the average. How many people you know rap that make 6 figures? I'm not talking about the people you see on TV. I'm talking about the rappers you know. That's a career. That's what rapping is. But how valuable is it? You put it like that, it changes the game. But then they say, okay, well, listen, I want you to be able to do what you do. I just want you to do it the most efficient way possible. How about you learn this Web3 shit? What LaRussell do? Oh, he learned Web3. He saw essentially the quality of NFTs, but he didn't have to tell you they were. He just understood the technology, utilized it, and now he's more successful than people that have had careers for 10, 20 years. Because this new age, man, the new age youngsters understand is different over here. We're not operating off old Operation Man Die. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So I would much rather you say, well, listen, fuck, price versus value is always an important metric to see, right? I create a product, I price my product, and then I decide how much I want to sell, right? Now, not only you create intellectual property, it's becoming more valuable because now you have the ability to leverage it, right? Based on the equity that's within it. So when we talking about equity, it's a different conversation because what we haven't learned to do in this culture is how to leverage equity. You understand me? We still haven't learned how to do that, how to leverage equity. We think that ownership is the highest level. It's not. Control is. See, what most people try to do is they try to keep up 60% of ownership, 51.5% of ownership, 50.1% of ownership so that they can have control and stake. They don't need to own the whole thing. This is what you got to understand in business. It was never about 100% ownership. It was about the controlling stake. Come on, man. Come on, man. Oh, man. I be teaching, man. You understand me? So I had to think about that. I said, well, why the hell we so fixated on ownership? Because we ain't never controlled nothing. We ain't got to that point. You first have to own something to control it. So what we do and what's taught in stocks is what? Yo, have ownership so that you can participate, right, in the equity of the business so that you can get value from it. But we know we don't have enough collective capital for control. So we used to get mad at white companies for buying black businesses, but they realized that no, business is a product as well that you can sell. That's the key. Business is the product. It's not, a business don't just have products and services. The business itself is a product. You can build the business and you can sell the whole business. Or you can sell interest in the business, but not the controlling stake. It's so many different ways to leverage, and it is important for us to think about entrepreneurship in different ways if we really want to be successful. If we are able to progress. Because entrepreneurship ain't sexy. We making it look sexy a little bit, but let's be honest, entrepreneurship is tough. Especially during times like this where you requires people that is not in for the short score, but people that's in for the long endure. Come on, man. If you in for the short score, that's different. If you in for the long endure, then you are willing to go through everything that entrepreneurship is going to take you through in order to get every reward, right, for your ability to go through it. It's rewarding if you're willing to go through the worst, you can get the best out of it. But some people only want the best and they don't want to go through the worst. We have to stop being the people who are ready to skip all the steps because you're not even worthy, right, of the results of the process if all you want to do is skip steps. I want to have the ability to endure the long process and love it along the way. And even when I don't love it, I want to do it like I love it regardless. Because that is more important than loving it, is doing it like you love it. See, everybody talk about you got to love your work to do your work. You have to work like you love it in order for it to be good work. That's different. Work like you love it is more important than loving your work when you're talking about efficiency. There's going to be times you don't love it, so you're going to work like you don't. Come on, everybody knows that. When you get in business, everybody's not working like they love their work. It's different when you love what you do. So how do you cultivate that spirit of love in your entrepreneurial journey is important. And that requires you to be at a place of peace and truth with yourself. And this is something that's not taught in academia and things of that nature. The mindset around entrepreneurship is more important than anything because you can already have a good business, but you might not have the right mind to develop that business. See, all of us have been sold entrepreneurship. We love it. We want to do our own. We want to go in business. But now the process that we got to get done is how do I build a lifestyle and a way of life around these passions? How do I have mental and spiritual fulfillment, right? And what is the framework to be mentally and spiritually stable while I work? That's important, B. You can't skip that. I'm here to tell you now, you don't try to skip that, B. Don't do it. It's dangerous. See, I be needing that reminder myself. I'm like, damn, how many tasks am I doing like I'm an employee? How many tasks am I doing like I'm a boss? See, as an employee, you're going to get burnt out faster. See, this as a boss, there's some things that you might not want to do. I don't feel like talking to this person. I don't feel like firing this person. I don't feel like Nah. See, you can't want to be an entrepreneur and revert back to an employee. That's not how it works. It has to be an evolution of becoming a boss. So that's what I'm working on now is how to master, how to work on the business instead of work in the business. I don't want to work in no business. I want to work on it. But this is an important aspect of it because I see where we're struggling at right now with our thinking of where do I go forward, and you have to double down on your self-investment at this point in period in time. I seen, forget the man's name, white guy, he does sales, and he say, imagine the same amount of money you put in the S&P 500 if you put that in the S&Me 500. I said, oh, he cooking. I said, he cooking. Because the reality of it is, it's true. We know what the S&P 500 gives you quarterly, yearly. Right now it's down. But on the average, it's going to give you a nice little return. We can't even tell you what it's like if I take that same thing and you invest it into self. Right? You invest it into your branding. You invest it into your marketing. Right? You invest it into creative. You invest it into hiring. You invest it into self-education. Right? If you invest it into ad spends. Right? So I said, well, damn. You right. I'm going to get more of a 10. I'm going to get more than 10%. I'm going to get more than 50%. Most likely it's going to be 100% return. But if you never give yourself the opportunity to even know what that's like to completely invest in yourself, then you're always going to be looking for things outside of yourself that are more valuable than yourself. Can y'all understand that? And shit's so important, B. It's key. You always will be looking outside of yourself for things more valuable than yourself when you never fully invest in yourself. Come on, man. But once you invest in yourself, you say, well, shit, all I got to do is double down on that investment. That worked out good the first time. I'm going to do it again. To me, formulas are simple.